Hello, my name is Johan Falk at Node 1. We work with Drupal and it makes us happy almost every day. Can you believe it? We have now come to the 6th part of the Learn Drupal 7 with Node 1 screencast series. And in this screencast I'm going to talk a bit more about blocks, because blocks has more to it than meets the eye. We're going to dive right into where we left the last screencast in the block settings at the administration. If you don't really know where to find it, go into structure. That's where you usually find all the fun settings in the administration toolbar, and then blocks. Here we have the list of available blocks on the site, and also on a per theme basis, the regions where we can place blocks. Alright, so I promised that I would show you how to create a new block in the previous screencast, so I'm going to show you that now. You use the add block link at the top of the block list, and that gives you a new form that you use to create a new block. Block description is something that you have to use to put a label on it in the administrator block list. So I'm gonna right now, let's say, add a welcome text to the site. So I'm gonna call this a welcome block. Block title, that's a title for the block when it's displayed to users. Welcome, perhaps, to this site even. And then block body, that's a text it contains. So I'm gonna fetch something here that is pretty difficult to understand unless you're very good at reading phony Latin. Scroll down, we still have this text format stuff that I haven't explained. You'll see that later on. Look for something called text format in the screencast series if you want to fast forward to learn about it. Okay, so here we have administration title for it, the title shown to users, and some content in this block. Right now just a dumb text, static text. That's usually what you have when you create blocks manually like this, static text. Unless you're, well, if you want to have dynamic blocks, you shouldn't do like this, then you're doing something wrong. Here we can set in the when you configure blocks directly the region where it should be shown, if any. It's usually easier to do this in the block list, so I'm going to leave it for now. You can do this for every enabled theme on the site. Now here in the end we have something interesting. This is not only for the manually added block, as we'll see later on, but you can use it for every block on your site. This is called visibility settings, something that you use to say when, well, under which circumstances this block should be visible or not. You can do this on in four different ways. The first one is to list a number of URLs, a number of paths on the site where it should or shouldn't be listed. I want to have this listed on the front page, and if we read the fine print here, we can see if we use this path, that will be the front page, no matter what the front page is set to, because that can be changed, as we'll see in the next screencast. So I'm going to configure this block to be shown only on the front page. Fair enough. I could add more here if I like. Have another URL and another URL, one per line, but I'm gonna stick to the front page right now. Another type of visibility settings is the content type settings. If we select any of these content types, this block will only be displayed when someone is looking directly at one of these nodes of these types. Alright, roles. You can also have blocks set visible by role. So you can say you have something that is enabled for only administrators and editors, some kind of help text when you edit nodes, for example. Or you could have stuff added, blocks shown only for anonymous users to promote the site in some way, or perhaps display ads, I don't know, that authenticated user, logged in users shouldn't have to see, stuff like that. And then finally also, it is possible to let users say whether they want to see a block or not. Usually, this is quite rare, but it happens, and it has its use cases. And then you can set on your user page whether you want to see the block or not, and then you can turn it on like this. Okay, so here's my block with a welcome text that's going to be shown on only the front page. Let's save this and see what it looks like. I have created my block. It should be down here in the disable list because I haven't put it in the region yet. Here's the welcome block. I'm going to put this in, say, featured. That's the region that's above the usual content. Save here, and we'll see what this looks like. This is the front page before reloading, and I reload, and here we have the featured region. It makes the block pretty big, the text very big, like this. Maybe not very pretty, but it works. And then if I go to another page, the block should go away because I'm not at the front page anymore. Alright, so that works. If you want to use these, let's see, I'm gonna use this search form perhaps, configure, and then look at the visibility settings. Every kind of block have different kinds of settings. Usually, well, in many cases you can just change the block title, and if you want to remove it, set it to none like this, because if you leave it empty you'll use the block default title that the module provides, the module that builds this block. Alright, but all blocks have visibility settings, and if you want to use these path settings, URL settings for visibility, it's very good to keep an eye on what kind of URLs are used on the site. For example, you might remember that all nodes have some kind of path that starts with node /1 in this case. So if you want to have a block shown only on nodes, you can type something like node/star. Means that it will be shown on all node pages. This star is a wildcard sign that can be replaced with any text string. If I save this, we can see I'm on a node page, all the blocks are shown. If I go to the front page, the search box has disappeared because I'm not at a node/star page. If I go to another node, it's shown. Even though this node has a URL alias that makes it impossible to see this node/2 hidden behind it. Drupal looks at both the URL aliases and the internal paths used by Drupal when it decides block visibility. You can see here, if I configure this block again, this was the wrong one, sorry. Search form. We can set it to be displayed at anything that is called about and then star. Like this, it has about us as the path. If I save here, it will show on the about us page, but not at the node 1 page. See, no, it doesn't show here. Go to the first node, it doesn't show. So you can use both URL aliases and the internal paths when designing block visibility. Right, and that's about it for this screencast. You can add blocks manually. You can set visibility settings for blocks, and you can do that in 4 different ways. Let's revise these again. You can set them on per page basis where you have a URL set here. You can use wildcards, and you can also use some special markup like this front stuff. You can display them per content type, have them being displayed along with articles or basic pages right now. You can set them per role visibility, and you can also let users decide whether they should be visible or not. Right. If you have a long list of blocks or you have complex conditions deciding when blocks should be visible or not, you probably will become pretty fed up with this system of managing block visibility. Then I recommend you to have a look at one of 2 modules. One is called Context, and that is a great help for managing block visibility in a more smooth way. The other one is called panels, and panels more or less runs over the block system in Drupal altogether and manages this kind of display in a whole different way, which is probably more future-proof because it's more complex. It's more it allows a lot of more things to happen, but the context module is closer to how Drupal core works in managing blocks. And that's it for this screencast. I hope you had a fun time. I sure did, and I'll see you in the next screencast. Then we'll have a look at some more basic settings in the Drupal installation. Bye for now.